Hi, welcome to this video presentation by Unknown India YouTube channel. Please view it on a laptop or desktop or tablet for better video quality and use a headphone, earphone or earbuds for better audio quality. We shall in this video present solid evidence with no speculative statements to show that people who lived on the banks of river Saraswati started using jewelry as early as 8,200 years ago. Even more interestingly, the evidence of 5,000 plus years old jewelry factories. This evidence is based on official documented archaeological excavation reports of the Archaeological Survey of India and the research papers and articles by eminent persons published in both international and Indian journals of repute. All references to these and other resources used in this video are given in the description below. Please check them out. We shall use evidence from 5 important Saraswati civilization sites, namely Birdana and Rakhigarhi in Haryana, Kalibangan in Rajasthan, and Lothal and Gola Doro in Gujarat. If you like this video, please click the like button, share it with your contacts, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos and other announcements. Thanks. The archaeological site of Birana or Birdana as the locals call the place is located in Fatehabad district of the North Indian state of Haryana of India. It is 258 kilometers northwest of New Delhi on the National Highway. Excavations were carried out under the supervision of Mr. L.S. Rao, Superintending Archaeologist of the Archaeological Survey of India from 2003 to 2006. Excavated objects were C14 radiocarbon dated at the Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleobotany, Lucknow. They have led to path-breaking findings, namely 1. Datings of objects found at different levels of excavation site indicate a continuous occupation of the Birdana site right from pre-Harappan to late mature Harappan civilizations. Number 2. Remains of pottery found in the earliest levels of Birdana yielded a carbon dating of 7570 to 6200 BCE, older than the previously held belief that Mehergarh in Baluchistan with dating of 6400 to 7000 BCE was the oldest site. Thus, Birdana is the oldest pre-Harappan civilizational site found so far in the world. Number 3. These findings have led to a new chronology of cultures as determined by Mr. K. N. Dikshit, former Joint Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India and General Secretary of the Indian Archaeological Society, and Mr. B. R. Mani, former Additional Director General of ASI. They published their findings in an article in the Dialogue Journal of July 2013. You can find details of this article in the description below. As per the data presented by Mr. L.S. Rao and Associates in an article in Puratattva, the annual bulletin of the Indian Archaeological Society, volume number 35 of 2005, reference given below in the description, excavation of circular dwelling pits at Birdana at level corresponding to period 1A, that is the Akraware period, had yielded several antiquities of jewelry. In his own words, the antiquarian remains from the dwelling pits, that is of period 1A, comprise of beads of semi-precious stones like carnelian, agate, jasper and lapis lazuli, as well as terracotta bangles, both plain and painted with circular and rectangular cross sections. He goes on to add, the antiquities recovered from the face, that is period 1B, include rings and bangles of copper, beads of carnelian, jasper, steatite, shell and terracotta, and also pendant. He also gives the carbon dating of these objects done by Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleobotany as 6647 to 6221 BCE. Juxtaposing this dating with the chronology later proposed by Dikshit and Mani and taking a very conservative view, that is, taking only the terminal year of the later period 1B and not the earlier period of 1A, we can confidently say that these jewelry items found in Bidana are at least 8,200 years old. Of course, only a few of these have been found at that level. Therefore, perhaps this was just the beginning of the use of jewelry at Bidana. The variety of jewelry was also somewhat limited. Rakhi Ghari, today a small village in Hisar district of Haryana state of India, situated at about 150 kilometers from Delhi, was once a huge city and is perhaps the largest of the Harappan sites, spanning over 350 hectares of area. Only a very small portion of it has been excavated, mostly starting from 1990s and still going on now in several phases since then. It is also perhaps one of the oldest too, as per carbon dating of objects found in one of the areas of excavation going back to pre-Harappan era of 6200 to 6500 BCE. A total of 11,421 beads were found in the habitation mounds at Rakhi Ghari. Over 80% of the beads were of steatite, which is basically talc or soapstone. Most of the steatite beads were discular or cylindrical in shape. Bead shapes other than disc and cylinder include biconvex, circular, elliptical, globular, etc. Other materials for beads were faience or ceramic, semi-precious stones like agate, amazonite, carnelian, chalcedony, jasper, lapis lazuli, turquoise, etc., as well as materials like terracotta, ivory, bone and shell, and metals such as copper, gold, etc. Many of these materials came from outside, notably from Balochistan and Gujarat. The beads and ornaments of semi-precious stones and metals like silver and gold were found mostly in the citadel dwelling mound RGR2 of the rich ruling and trading classes, that is, the citadel area which corresponds to the early Harappan period of 5500 to 6200 years ago. A large number of thin bangles made of shell have also been found here. A shell factory with a large number of unfinished and semi-finished conch shells and shell bangles in various stages of manufacture, along with shell cutting and polishing tools have been found in the south central part of RGR2. Slightly thicker shell bangles were found on female skeletons found in a burial sites of RGR6, dating back to the pre-formative Harappan period of 6,500 years ago. Archaeologists also found a well-established bead manufacturing factory having thousands of bead rough-outs, waste flakes and cores, tools and implements, and bead polishes. All these things were placed on a mud brick floor in a very specific manner. It indicates that the bead makers of Rakhi Ghari present an example of highly advanced skill and craftsmanship. Kalibangan, literally meaning black bangles, is a very ancient town on the southern bank of Gaggar or erstwhile Saraswati river in the Hanumangarh district of western Rajasthan at 205 kilometers from Bikaner. This ancient Saraswati civilization site was excavated by the Archaeological Survey of India from 1960 to 69 under the supervision of Mr. B.B. Lal, the eminent former Director General of ASI. In the early Harappan levels of the excavation, beads of steatite, terracotta, agate, carnelian, shell and gold, and bangles of terracotta were found as per his report. The carbon dating of this jewelry was first done by the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, and later verified by Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleobotany, Lucknow. It points to the early Harappan period of 3200 to 2600 years BCE. That is, these jewelry samples are 4600 to 5200 years old. The Harappan port town of Lothal is located along the Bogava River, a tributary of Sabarmati, in the Gulf of Kambat or Gulf of Cambay as it is popularly known, situated at about 80 kilometers southwest of Ahmedabad in the Indian state of Gujarat. Lothal was one of the southernmost Harappan or Saraswati civilizational urban centers, belonging to the mature Harappan period of 2600 to 1900 BCE, that is 4500 years old. Excavations were carried out at Lothal from 1955 to 1962 under the supervision of Mr. S.R. Rao, Superintendent of the Archaeological Survey of India. Lothal was a very important manufacturing, trading and exporting center for beads and jewelry, and the lapidary activities, that is engraving, cutting and polishing of stones, formed the main economic activities at Lothal. Over 50,000 finished beads of different materials have been found at Lothal. Several materials were used, and in the order of priority, they are steatite, faience or ceramic, semi-gemstones such as carnelian, agate, chalcedony, jasper, opal, onyx, lapis lazuli, plasma, etc. Besides terracotta, copper, gold, shell, ivory and bone. However, Lothal was most famous for jewelry made of micro beads, beads of steatite, etched carnelian beads, as well as gold ornaments. A bead factory with a kiln and a working platform in the open courtyard surrounded by 11 rooms has been excavated in the lower town of Lothal. Jars with a large number of carnelian shell and steatite beads have been found. Also, a large number of semi-finished beads in various stages of manufacture have been found embedded in the platform. It is significant, according to Mr. L.S. Rao, that even today, the modern bead factories across the Kutch follow the same manufacturing process as in ancient times. There were many other factories of jewelry manufacture in and near the Kambat or Kambe area. One of them is at Goladoro, a Saraswati civilization site at the head of the Gulf of Kutch, near the village of Bagasara in the Kutch district of Gujarat. Excavation was carried out here by the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda in 1996. Goladoro specialized in making bangles from conch shells, ruins of a 4,500 years old factory with heaps of shell bangles in various stages of manufacture, as well as unused conch shells were found here. Therefore, based on the evidence provided in this video, we can sum up that number 1. Birana in Haryana is the oldest excavated Indus Saraswati civilization site, with beginning dated at 7570 BCE. It is even older than Mehergarh. 2. Use of jewelry at Birdana had started as early as 6200 BCE or 8200 years ago, though in a limited way. 3. Rakigadi is another pre-Harappan Saraswati civilization site of 6200 to 6500 BCE in Haryana. It had started using jewelry made of beads and shell bangles profusely from a variety of materials even around 5500 to 6200 BCE. Even a beads factory and a shell bangle factory were unearthed. 4. Kalibangan in Rajasthan was an early Harappan civilizational site of 3200 to 2600 BCE. It had used terracotta bangles and beads jewelry, again from different materials. 5. 4500 years old bead factory and shell factory were found at Lothal and Goladoro respectively. These are the mature Harappan sites of Gujarat, which not only made jewelry for locals but even exported them. And 6. Apart from semi-precious stones, metals like copper, silver and gold were also used for jewelry. Thus, we can conclude that the Saraswati civilization people had started using jewelry from various materials as early as 8200 years ago, and as early as 5 to 6000 years ago, they started manufacturing it as per ruins of factories found. They also started exporting this jewelry from certain locations as early as 4500 years ago. Please check out our other videos in the full playlist and also subscribe to our channel by clicking the respective links. Thank you.